By Katie Hope, Emma Kasbrak, BBC News. Image copyright Marks Spencer. Image caption Marks & Spencer had a waiting list of more than 45,000 online customers for its 2017 calendar. Advent calendars used to be a cheap way to count down to Christmas with a seasonal picture, a chocolate treat, but behind the doors you can now find everything from expensive whiskey to fancy face cream. Are they a rip-off that represents the ever-growing commercialism of Christmas, or just a harmless bit of festive fun? Christmas isn't like it used to be, is a familiar refrain. Yet even putting the rosette-tinted spectacles aside, one element of the festive period, Advent calendars really have come a long way. There has long been a tradition in some Christian denominations to mark off the days of Advent, from lighting candles to the calendar's austere origins in 19th century Germany when 24 chalk lines were rubbed off doors. But counting down to a festival marking the birth of Jesus has changed, from finding cheap chocolate behind the door of a pretty picture, a style popularized in the 1990s, to an extravagant present-filled bonanza boasting everything from pork scratchings to posh toiletries. Image copyright John Lewis. Image caption traditional card Advent calendars are still popular, says John Lewis. These bumper versions vary wildly in price, ranging from £10,000 for a rare whiskey version, to a rather more modest cheese offering for £8 from Asda. But despite the sometimes eye-watering cost, some do represent value for money, according to money-saving expert Gary Caffel. If you want to give yourself a small daily treat of your favorite tipple, cheese or crisp, Advent calendars such as these are meant to be a bit of festive fun. So if that's why you're buying it and you're happy with the overall price, you may not be too fussed about the value you're getting behind each window. Self-rewarding is how consumer psychologist Kate Nightingale, founder of consultancy Style Psychology, puts it. When you're rushing around trying to please everyone else, treating yourself to an early present is one way to cheer yourself up, she says. Chloe Haskell, 34, says that is exactly why she bought a beauty advent calendar for herself this year. I'm not keen on chocolate and like the idea of a daily pick-me-up. They're not cheap, but I find December exhausting, so it's a well-deserved treat, I reckon, she says. Image copyright Chloe Haskell. Image caption Chloe Haskell says her beauty calendar will be a pick-me-up in a tough month. Mr. Caffel says beauty calendars tend to provide the best savings as they can be a cheaper way to buy a lot of products from one of the bigger brands, and any products you don't want can be given as stocking fillers. Boots No. 7, MS and Body Shop all have popular calendars which are worth looking out for, as you get products worth a lot more than the price of the advent calendar itself. Natalie Oakley, who is behind beauty blog Ladylike Mama, has been known to stay up for the midnight launch of such calendars and tracks the launch dates in magazines and online. I choose a calendar based on two things, says the writer, from Sedgley in the West Midlands. I either go for a brand I know and love already, or brands that I am keen to try out. And the second thing is the style and packaging. I think when you are spending quite a lot on a calendar you want it to look good in your home, and I personally want to be able to use it again the following year and add my own things to the drawers. Image copyright Ladylike Mama. Image caption Natalie Oakley reuses her beauty calendars by adding her own things to the drawers. Image caption Cadbury launched its first advent calendar in 1971, but only started producing them every Christmas from 1993. Luxury calendars are a very recent phenomenon. Department store Liberty's coveted beauty calendar, which sold out online in 39 hours this year, only launched in 2014. Even chocolate calendars only really became commonplace in the 1990s, says Alex Hutchinson, archivist and historian for Nestlé. It wasn't until after World War II and after rationing ended that chocolate became a more affordable purchase. Chocolate was so expensive that manufacturers couldn't afford to put it in an advent calendar. By the 1960s, people got back into the habit of treating it as a grocery product, but the idea of chocolate being linked to Advent would still have been a bit sacrilegious. You might also like will the 4-gift rule take off when should you to your Christmas shopping? Can you cook Christmas dinner for £1? Cadbury says the company launched its first advent calendar in 1971, with production the following year and again between 1978 and 1980. It wasn't until 1993 the firm began to produce them continuously, when it became more routinely adopted as a Christmas tradition. But trying to marry the commercial desire to sell more during what is, after all, a religious festival, requires some sensitivity. When bakery chain Greggs promoted its advent calendar by swapping Jesus for a sausage roll in a nativity scene, some said it had gone too far. YouTube star Zoella also came a cropper when parents complained that her £50 12-window calendar was overpriced prompting Boots to halve the price to £25. Image caption: Greggs was forced to apologize for swapping Jesus for a sausage roll in its advent calendar promotion. There are other less obvious pitfalls for retailers. Those fiddly boxes and unusual shapes mean they can be difficult and expensive to make, something pork scratchings firm Snaffling Pig found to its cost when it launched its first calendar last year. The firm's founder Andy Allen says a combination of the A3 size, which took up almost all their warehouse space, and the need to produce the calendar in a short space of time to keep the product fresh, almost broke them. The result was that they had less than a month to make and then post out 11,000 calendars before the 1st of December. It piled on a lot of pressure, he says. This year, they are making about 45,000 calendars and have outsourced the fiddly filling and calendar construction to a team. It is a bit more controlled, he says. Image copyright Daniel Jarvis. Image caption: Snaffling Pig struggled to make all its advent calendars on time last year. For larger firms like John Lewis, Advent is akin to a military operation. Head of Christmas products Dan Cooper has already picked his first set of calendars for next Christmas, and across all styles, sales are up 48% so far this year. The chain launched its own £149 beauty product calendar for the first time this year, and the 3,000 it made have already sold out. Mr. Cooper believes the growing popularity of more luxurious calendars is partly down to the ever earlier spread of Christmas hysteria. But he says the real shift is that calendars have become a family thing. Advent, it seems, is no longer just for kids. Image copyright John Lewis. Image caption: John Lewis says the Lego Advent calendars are its strongest sellers. Angus Thirlwell is the chief executive and founder of chocolate chain Hotel Chocolate, which has been selling a posh calendar pitched squarely at adults for nearly a decade now. He says people are generally buying calendars in addition to their usual Christmas gifts, not instead of them, and Advent has now become a season in its own right. That's why we like it, he says. But isn't festive commercialism getting a bit out of hand? It's difficult to take the hedonism out of Christmas. The genie has already escaped the bottle, says Mr. Thirlwell. Image copyright Eamon M. McCormack. Image caption: Men outnumbered women by 2 to 1 in the queue to buy Liberty's calendar this year. Retailers, of course, say these calendars are a good deal to the point of printing it on your receipt. In a clever marketing ploy, Marks Spencer's beauty calendar, which is £35 if you spend an additional £35 on non-food products, flashes up at the till at £250, which is what the company says it's worth before the price is reduced. But customer reviews show they believe the chance to try more expensive products than they could normally afford makes them worth it. And glowing skin isn't necessarily the only bonus. Some calendars' popularity mean they can be lucrative. Liberty's £175 beauty calendars are now listed on auction site eBay at double the original price, for example. The idea that shops are deliberately understocking their calendars to create a fake rush is a myth, according to Mr. Cooper, who adds that changing trends mean things sometimes sell better than expected. But however big your advent calendar is, and whatever you paid for it, there's still one big challenge left: stopping yourself from opening all those tempting little windows at once. Image caption: Liberty's £175 beauty calendars are now listed on auction site eBay at double the original price.